welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to do a chatty get ready with me where I'm talking about the travel and all that I did this summer, what we got up to, and I'm going to do all that while I am applying an orange eyeshadow look. And the chatty get ready with me was something I kind of threw out there as an idea, and Kay, who is Makeup Lens here on YouTube, and she's also on Instagram, she said that she would love to see it. And I decided to pair it with a single Saturday kind of post because that is a project that she's been running on Instagram, I guess also on YouTube. But yeah, this video is probably going to go up after my Instagram post does, so then, you know, you can go over there and see the look. But I'll probably include the pictures on here too. Usually I do. But yeah, I decided why not, since she's doing that, also do my singles kind of thing now. And yeah, while I'm chatting. So let's stop this chatter and start putting some makeup on my face. So please keep watching. So what I've been doing recently has been doing my bronzer, which I don't have much left. I mean, I just had franken some, and then I will just have to franken more. There's still plenty of the regular bronzer left. But yeah, I've been doing this like a little bit and then putting my blush on top, and I've been liking that. Although it's like maybe I should have gone with my orangey blush if I'm doing an orange eyeshadow look. Oh well, it's fine. I want to be using this blush because I am trying to pan it this year. But yeah, so the single Saturday is just kind of, you know, using your singles, which, I mean, I love my singles, so I do use them, but, you know, kind of having a focus. So what I thought would be fun is to have a palette of a whole bunch of oranges all together that are singles in my collection, and then decide what I want to do like in the moment, what I'm inspired to use. So, you know, I'm not going to use all of the shades because that would be just way too many. Yeah, this is basically what I've been liking for my cheek. It's a little bit more neutral, but that'll still work with the orange. All right. So looking at my palette, I was kind of thinking about doing some sort of halo eye type of thing. I kind of wanted to use this bright orange. Like I was thinking about doing like a matte halo eye, at least to start in like the bright orange, and then doing these other kinds of mattes on the outside. This matte, I realize, is basically the same as this one. And depending on how this one applies, I might declutter this one because it is older. It's also all kind of broken. Like I've had to repress it multiple times, and it doesn't look like something I want to use, kind of thing. You know, like if it is the same color, if the formula is as good or better, then I'd rather just, you know, not have a duplicate that's not as good. So I do need to grab some other brushes. All right, I've grabbed an assortment of brushes. We'll see what I end up using here. So I guess I'm gonna start by putting that bright orange in the middle and then building on top of it. All right, now this is where it's tricky because I gotta hold my mirror and this palette here. I don't know, I can reach over. I can reach that from here. That's why I moved the camera. All right, and then you can still see what I'm doing. Yes. All right, but yeah, so every summer, my family, which is me, my husband, and 2 kids, we go to Maryland, which is where our families are from, and we stay there for a couple weeks or more. We don't just stay in Maryland. We usually go other places that are around as well for other family and friends. But recently, for the summer, we've been doing a good chunk of our time there at a beach house with, it's my dad and stepmother, and then my brother's family, and then my mother-in-law joins us. Is that everybody? Yeah, and then my uncle lives nearby with his partner, so then they'll visit with us as well during that time, because otherwise it's a little far for them to come all the way up and see us other times, so that's very handy. Now I'm going to go in with the medium shade next, the one that I'm trying to see if I like it as much as that other one. Well, I'm really liking this bright orange. And yes, so that's been something we've been doing. And so, so it's a beach trip, and, it's, we haven't been in Maryland, actually. We're just a nearby for the beach, but what is, it's very different from the beaches here. And I'm mentioning that because then our other trip that we did this summer was with some friends here, another family. We went to the Washington coast, and so the kids got to be at the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans this summer. So far the shade actually seems pretty good. And I definitely am more of a East Coast beach kind of fan, but there's some perks for the West Coast. I don't have to wear a bathing suit because it's too cold. It's not really sunny most of the time, so sunscreen. There is still some sunscreen being worn, but I'm not sweating it off or having to really reapply because we're also just not out there like that long anyway. And it's and I'm covered up because it's cold, and and I don't go in the water because it's cold. The sand. So I don't remember it being like this. We had done the Oregon coast a few years ago, and I don't remember it being exactly the same type of sand and all that. This was so packed down. I mean, you could dig it, dig in it. Wow, that's hard to say. You could dig in the sand and all that, and the kids did. But it was also just very smooth. So you didn't really get as sandy walking around as I'm used to for like the East Coast beaches and stuff. So I don't know, just different. The waves were much milder. But the water's way colder, so that's another reason. It's like, it's cold and that's cold, so why would I ever go in the water? Whereas East Coast, if it's chilly outside, the water is like generally maybe a little warmer than that or something. It's not, the water never gets like, well, no, I can't say that. The water can be cold, but it's definitely not as cold as the Pacific. All right, now I'm gonna do the darker shade. Do I switch brushes? I might just use the same one I was using for the medium. It's not really that much darker. And then wait, where do I want it to go? I guess like over here more, right up against the orange. But yeah, so that was our, two main things was seeing the stuff around Maryland that we do. My eye is already watering. Why? It hasn't been. Why does it have to do it when I want to do a matte eyeshadow look? And then the coast here was just kind of, like I said, it was just different. We were in like this small town, and it was, for me, there was a little bit of anxiety because it is very far from a hospital. So if something was to happen, also from grocery stores. So it's not just, oh, well, a hospital. I don't know. I've always been really near hospitals, like close to them. The furthest would have been maybe 20 minutes, but yeah, to be almost an hour from the nearest hospital to me seems just wacky. I'm glad I don't live there. But yeah, it was a good time. It was nice being with the friends, for a trip. We haven't ever done that, doing a trip with friends. And, we're in the same house. Now, their kids are definitely different from mine with, some stuff. And so it was, but my kids like their kids so much that it didn't matter that, like, they had some differences of opinion on things. I don't know. They were fine. Like, they said, like, at the end of it, that the most fun part of the trip was, spending time with the other people, which, is what you want. So, all right. Oh wait, I could do another, I have a lighter, all right. I'm like, I have a lighter shade that can go around the edge just to kind of blend this out. Well, yes, that is better. Still wish that my eye wasn't watering. I can't even see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on there, but it's like this like sheen here because of that. Yeah, so it's like, would we do it again? I think so. I don't know if I want to go to the same spot again. I mean, it's like I've gone to now the Pacific Coast twice. I don't know. We would consider taking them to this other place that we've gone to twice before is a lot warmer. It's a lake place. And yeah, so maybe we would do that with them if they wanted to. But yeah, it was just, we'll have to talk about it. I'm like, do I add? No, I'm not going to add sparkle up there, but I'm going to do some down here. And I don't want it to travel, so I'm going to try, I haven't used this primer down here before, but I'm going to try and see what I think. Let's see, and then I'm going to get a little bit on the brush this way, tap off the extra. Which one do I want to use, which shimmer? Maybe I will use, I'm going to use the really bright one, and then I might kind of mix and match a little bit here and layer. But yeah, so that was the big vacations, and then we did, you know, some pool time. We like to go around to different parks and playgrounds that are in the general area, like within an hour or so where we live, and check those out. So we did that. You know, found some new ones to us. Some that had just been redone as well, so that was partly why they were new to us. And yeah, I did a lot of math prep with my kids to make sure, you know, like as far as like reading prep, I read to them. I encourage them to read, so you know, that's how we do that. But like math, it's like, oh, you know, we can actually go online and do problems and things like that. And so because my one kid is going to be skipping ahead with math this year, I wanted to make sure that, you know, as the year starts, that it's not, you know, overwhelming because, oh, like I don't know this stuff and this is, you know, too hard or something. So I feel like, you know, this way the content is familiar, so it's just all the other stuff that's different and all. All right. Put the brushes away, and then I'm going to clean this up a little bit here. And I also need I'm going to add a little concealer just because the orange kind of stained. And then the other stuff I was doing this summer, I don't know did I say on here, I don't know, that I took over the role of art director at my one kid's school. I had been running for just like the one grade. I was in charge of that art, and before that I was just like of the one classroom. And so the person who had been in charge, their kid was switching schools, and so yep, I was the person who volunteered to take it over. And it's a volunteer thing, so it's not like a paid thing. People were like congratulating me. I'm like, is it congratulations if no one else wanted the job and you don't get paid? It's just, you know, the work of it. But I mean, it's fine. Like I'm gonna add a liner, by the way. But yeah, I mean, my husband encouraged me to do it because he's like, you know, you like to do things a certain way, and if you know, want things to go the way like that you want to control it, then, you know, you should sign up. And yes, I am using my palette to add a little darkness here because I could have put a single black shadow in there, but I just didn't, and I'm feeling lazy, and also I'm trying to hit pan in this palette and use up more of it, so you know, there's that. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and share this because, like I said, I think this video will go up a little bit later than other things, so it's not a spoiler. I literally just now hit pan in that eyeshadow. That was the last one I had to hit pan in, and it was a deck of panning goal. So the deck of panning update will probably go up before, I don't know. I have to look. I had a bunch that were like pre-scheduled things that I've been doing. It's hard to see in this mirror. I do have the little cover thing on. I could take it off. I'm just gonna wipe it off. Let's see, does this help? There we go, now I can actually see myself. All right, I don't know if this is a dark enough shade though to use as liner. for what I want. And then ooh, I just got it in my eye. I hate that. But yeah, so I was going through all of the art lessons that we're going to be using, which is, well, it's 36 main ones, and then there's clay lessons that we have too that I'm not really in charge of because we have a clay person. I'm like, technically, I guess, like, I'm in charge of the clay, like, overall, but, like, I'm not running it. So, but yeah, so I was working on all of that this summer. It took a while. I felt pretty good about the lessons. I printed them out, all the slides, like through FedEx. It was over 300 pages, so that we can have them, like there's a whole thing. And of course now I found some mistakes and things, but you know what? It's probably gonna happen anyway. Like there would have been something. It's nothing major. It's not like I put like, you know, Van Ghost instead of Van Gogh, so that I saw anyway. All right, I did that. I'm gonna do powder, then my eyebrows and mascara. I try to let the kids have good playtime at home, like with their toys and all of that, and just hanging out and chilling, because I just got powder on my shirt. This is why I don't usually do Chatty Get Ready With Me, is because then I have to be wearing like a shirt and stuff, and then I'm messy, okay? But yeah, you know, for my summers, I'm like, I don't know, you should feel a little bit of bored at some point. Now, I don't know, they never really said they were bored. Like there were definitely times though that they would kind of be sitting around and maybe not doing much, but then they never complain. And then they would always, you know, like one of them would think of something that they'd want to do, and then the other one would join in, and you know, it was fine. And that's kind of how I feel like it should be, that it's like, you know, I tell them that, I'm like, if you are bored, then that is because you are boring, you know, because you should be able to have things that you want to do. Like as an adult, it's like, there's always stuff that, you know, I'm trying to do, right? Like right now I'm like thinking about how, oh, I want to go like wash this and clean this and do these different things. And it's like, I can't, I don't have time for everything and doing it all at once or something like that. And yeah, so, you know, as a kid, like you had fewer responsibilities, but we did add some this summer. That was also something we were doing. So they now do the vacuuming, except for the stairs, because that's a little tricky. And then my room, I want to do, because we've got like the computer cords and things like that I don't want them having to worry about going around, or they go over it, and that would be bad. But yeah, they do all the rest of the house, and they also have been cleaning their bathroom. So, you know, it's like little things we were doing. Okay, I had to clean up because I'd spilled some stuff, and now I'm trying to think about where I left off. So sorry if this is kind of, I went on a little tangent here. Yeah, I guess we were just talking about like what I was doing with the kids, and yeah, just, so they had some responsibilities. So they are, you know, I feel like they were kind of, then it does take away some of their free time, but then maybe that's good, because then they definitely, it's like, well, then now you're not going to feel bored because there's always something, you know, that is getting done, or maybe we're going somewhere or whatever. But like I said, I made sure to give them some downtime too, because I feel like that's important for everyone, but especially when they're kids, so they can kind of puzzle out what they then want to do. So it's like, when you have this downtime, then how do you want to spend it? Because it's not unlimited. So, but yeah, it is exciting to be that, I guess, with a new school year, and see what happens with that. And I am just about done here. This mascara I'm going to be tossing soon, if I haven't already by the time this is up, because I don't know. I'm trying to decide exactly when I want to cut it off. I don't do it when, I've never had an empty mascara, so I'm not going to have that. But it's just sort of when I feel like it's getting too old, so I think I'm going to do maybe 3.5 months with it. I don't know. We'll see. All right, and then we got some lips. And I guess I could do something with my hair. I might, for the pictures for this, I might just call it because it's fine. Let me go over what shadows I actually used, since that was part of the purpose of this. So yeah, I ended up, like I said, I used this one, and then I used this one as well initially, and then this was the lighter shade I used to blend out. This was the shade in the middle. So these two shades are from Sydney Grace, and this shade is from ColourPop. This shade is from Colored Rain. Oh, and then I did use this one on the outer part of my lash line here. That's also from Sydney Grace. This one is also from Sydney Grace. I did that one in the middle because I figured it kind of copied this bright orangeness. And then this is the really sparkly that's on the inner corner and coming around. And I probably could have used something else. I decided that this shade, even though it looks orange, it really comes off just more blue because of the flip that it has. You can kind of maybe see the sheen there. So I could use it as a highlighter. Let me try that. Just why not? Just make it a little different, and then I'm using more of my singles. Okay, so you get like the little blue shift to it, but then when I'm just looking a different direction, it's more of the orange. Well, that's fun. Oh, just something different. Hopefully you enjoyed following me along as I made this look and listening to me ramble about my summer. And that's all I have for you today. So go check out Kay's channel if you haven't already. And until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well. I hope maybe you'll subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye.